In the third segment of Breaking the Stigma at Utah Tech University, Board of Trustees Chair Tiffany Wilson welcomed two leaders in the LGBTQ plus community to share their journeys with mental health.
45% of LGBTQ youth are not just dealing with anxiety and depression, they have dealt with feeling suicidal in the past year.
Sarah Ostler shared her story first about her struggles with coming out in her true identity.
I eventually just snapped. I realized that I couldn't be this way. I actually just told my parents I had to go see therapy. If I was going to survive, I needed to go see therapy, and I wanted to make it through it. But once I got through therapy, I realized that I needed to live authentically if I wanted to live. That there was no other way but to live authentically because I couldn't survive in my current state of just being depressed about who I was and not living my authentic self. So that's when I just started coming out to friends. I was outed to my mom and dad, which is a different story, but it's whatever. And I just became me. I moved down to college. I had 2 lesbian roommates, which who knew that that was even possible in St. George, which was amazing.
Sarah is currently the president of the Utah Tech LGBTQ plus Student Association. She interviewed guest Essie Gonzsen, who was within Circle, but is now the programs manager for Equality Utah. Essie had her own story to share.
In 11th grade, I attempted to take my life, and that was not only monumental in the sense of shining a light on how severe my mental illness was, but it was an incredible moment of shifting.
Both leaders expressed their mental health journeys and talked about what they did to cope with challenges they faced.
Almost 8 years ago, I met my now wife, but bless her soul, when she came into my life, she was like, what? It's mental health. Like, I am like living my life, and what is anxiety? And she jumped on board, and she had a lot of internal feelings about therapy and things, and she's like, all right, let's go to therapy. I'm going to learn about whatever this is going on with you, and we're going to learn and grow together.
Some things that I want to say to people who may be struggling or who have struggled with similar things is that there's nothing wrong with you. Keep fighting, and lots of people are here for you.
And those who attended were interested in how they managed to stay so strong in a religious society that might not always agree with their identity platform.
I just have a question about how someone can balance holding on to values they have within their religion or with spirituality and then transitioning to kind of coming out as queer or coming out gay, lesbian, just how they can hold on to those values.
What do I value? How do I want, where do I want to show up, and how do I want to show up? And I think once you figure that out, being queer is just like having anxiety. I'm a lesbian, I'm a dancer, I like to freestyle rap on occasion. It's like we're made up of all these different labels, and our values are at the core, but I think just kind of figuring out what those are, and that rest kind of just flows in my experience.
So I think it's just really, really critical to maybe take a step back and just write down what values do you do, and then also look at others and who are inspiring you and put down those values of those individuals, and then also seek like-minded people. For instance, if you're LDS and you still want to stay LDS while you're queer, there's great resources. I think Charlie Bird, a bunch of different people at BYU. So I think it's just critical to surround yourself with people who have those same values, and also maybe look at them and find those resources, because there's a whole rainbow of people.
Equality Utah is a civil rights organization that supports diversity and inclusion as a culture.
Can LGBTQ rights coexist in a conservative space, in a religious space? And we believe that they can. I'm gay. I'm coming out to you tonight.
What?
But I also belong to a big extended LDS family that I love and who love me. And so these kind of culture war divisions, they not only are they difficult for a community and for a state, but they actually rip families apart. So I'm very invested in finding ways to connect and to heal those divides, to reach across, to actually be willing to learn from people who do not think like me.
Utah Tech will soon have a new LGBTQI plus coordinator who is looking forward to helping students in their journeys and supporting mental health.
There's that old saying of it takes a village to raise a child. That's still true today. If we're looking to change the culture, it takes organizations like Equality Utah at the forefront, or more local organizations as well, to really build those bridges and that rapport that are so essential to not just a change in a cultural attitude, but really grow the love that we all share as human beings.
There are people that you'll lose along the way, and peace out, like sayonara. It's okay to let people go, but I think just being brave and being yourself, and yeah.
From Utah Tech, Melissa Anderson, Community Education News.